everybody. I've got a really good show today. And I have on two kindness and happiness, pretty much coaches, but also podcasters. I mean, you guys, look who I have on here. I have Russ Johns and Randy McNeely. I mean, how can we not have a really happy podcast? Right, guys? So exactly. Russ is the owner of the Pirate Nation, really the Pirate Broadcasting Company, I guess, the Pirate Broadcast and the Pirate Nation. And Randy owns the, actually his podcast is the Kindness and Happiness Connection. And look at them, they're both smiling. It's going to be great. So I'm going to have them both introduce themselves, and we're going to go through a couple of questions so you guys understand why they do what they do. Take it away, gentlemen.
Go ahead, Randy.
Well, I'm Randy McNeely. I'm known as the Kindness Giver. I'm an author of the Kindness Giver's Formula. I'm a speaker. I am a kindness engineer. I teach people how to more fully develop the daily habit of intentional kindness giving and ingrain it in their lives. But I'm blessed to have the opportunity to be next to a guy named Russ Johns, who is the master pirate. Take it away, Russ.
Hey, thank you so much, Randy and Jenny. Thank you so much for inviting us on, because this is really a special opportunity to hang out with Randy and yourself. And I am host of the Pirate Broadcast, like you mentioned, and promoter of Kindness is Cool and Smiles Are Free, and interviewing interesting people doing interesting things. So it's always an adventure 5 days a week to be able to highlight someone in the community, highlight someone that's inspiration to other people, and doing some great things out there. So thank you so much for inviting me and allowing me to share a few thoughts about kindness today with both of you.
Yeah, I really appreciate you, Jenny. I forgot to mention one thing. I am here I am, and you just introduced me as the host for the Kindness and Happiness Connection. I didn't even say anything about that. It's kind of on the same genre as Russ. We interview people who are very interesting and who are into promoting happiness and well-being, both personally and professionally. And so it's just a privilege to be here with you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
You're welcome. And how did I meet you, Randy? I met you because of Russ. I on Russ's show, and I thought,
yeah,
why don't we have both of them on my show?
I've been on Pirate Nation, I think 3 times now. It's been a real amazing opportunity. I love Russ to death. He's a great guy.
It's a great community, Randy, and they're always welcome to come back as a pirate. So,
well, that's great. I mean, it's just so nice that I can have 2 wonderful gentlemen on here and to talk about their kindness campaign. So I'm going to ask you guys the same question, and Randy, I'm going to have you answer first, and then Russ, I'm going to have you answer second. How's that? Rebuttal.
Perfect.
There's no rebuttal. It'll all probably be the same. So why is kindness an important effort to consider, and how has it impacted your life?
Who's going first?
You're Randy.
First.
Russ, you go. I went first on the intro, so you go first. We'll fight over this.
No worries. Kindness is absolutely critical in people's lives, because one of the things that we have to look forward to is the idea that we don't have to stay stuck in a place where we are, whatever place that happens to be.
Right.
And 2 things help that really move forward and kind of resolve some of the challenges we have in life. And I believe that it's gratitude for the things we do have, and kindness, because it's one of the things we can do to help someone else in their journey. And anytime we're helping someone else, it has a tendency to help us feel better about what we're doing and how we're helping and adding value to the world. And adding value is something that I believe in, and I promote, and I'll continue to promote, just like Randy does every single day.
And I agree with everything that Russ just said. And you think about it, kindness is the currency of success in today's business world and personally. If you really want to be able to, we hear the cliche, the term, know you, like you, trust you. That's the thing that's thrown around in business all the time.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I find it kind of ironic, because sometimes when I mention the word kindness and business in the same sentence, people just kind of chuckle and kindness is this fluffy, squishy thing. But the fact of the matter is, okay, So what you're saying by that, you tell me that you want people to know you, like you, and trust you, you know, and you want to be able to build that trust. Well, what kind of behaviors do you need to have in order to be able to build that trust, to be able to make connection and be able to connect to people's hearts? Well, this, and this. I need to show respect, civility, have integrity, etc. Okay.
Right.
I said, well, okay, so what you just described are 3 behaviors that are encompassed by the circle of kindness. If you don't have those behaviors, you're not going to be able to establish those things. So it's an interesting world that we live in. Everybody knows that if you want people to work with you, you have to be able to connect. You have to be able to connect to their hearts. And because otherwise they're not going to want to work with you. They're not going to want to be around you. And that connection, that the key ingredient in connection is kindness, and kindness is and connection is the keystone of success. You have all these other things that help with success, but if that keystone is taken away, all the other stuff falls apart.
100% agree with you. Oh, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, and to amplify that and ask a question, because Maya Angelou said, you know, people won't necessarily remember what you did, but they will remember how they made you feel.
Right.
And kindness is one of the best ways, I think, to allow people to feel something, feel a connection. And there have actually been times, Jenny, where people have questioned my kindness. It's like, is there something I'm missing here? It's like, why are you so positive all the time? Why are you so, you know, this way? And I'm trying to figure this out. And it's almost like, I don't believe you. It's like, this is me. This is just the way I am. And this is the way I choose to be. And even though we may have bumps in the road and challenging days, it doesn't mean that we have to stay there and stay in that place, because, you know, it doesn't benefit anyone. And if I can make you feel a little better about what's going on in your day or your world, that's an advantage.
I agree 100% with that.
Jenny, I don't want to throw off what you got planned.
Okay. No, it's okay.
But, you know, Russ and I can play off each other all day.
I know.
He just said
I was like, I don't have to say anything.
He said something that's vitally important is, you know, when people know that you care, that's when you make connections. And it's that kind of caring that not only makes an immediate impact, but it's an impact that can last for a long time. And can I just share a little story that related to that?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Yes, please do. Please do.
When I was, you know, in the home I grew up in, my father was just an authoritarian, and he yelled a lot. He swore a lot. He was not a kind man a lot of the time. I mean, God bless him. I learned how to work hard from him. You know, he did teach me how to work hard, and he did have a few moments, albeit rare. He had a few moments of kindness somewhere in there. Fortunately, I had a wonderful mother who was kind, but he, because of the way, you know, I got a diet of downer fodder continually, you know, criticism and ridicule and all those kind of things. Well, you know what what does that do to self-esteem? My self-esteem was next to non-existent. In the 7th grade, I had a teacher named Brian Crouch that was a new teacher. It was his first year ever teaching. And, you know, I didn't know this at the time, but anyway, he took an interest in me. And every time I came into his class, and he did this, and it wasn't just me, with all his students, he loved us. He loved us. You could tell he cared. He cared about the subject and stuff like that, social studies and stuff like that. But what made him stick out was the fact that he actually cared. You could feel that he cared. You knew that he cared by the way he treated you. And to this, you know, it's been 40 years since I was in his class. And to this day, he and I are still friends. I just had a conversation with him 2 hours ago. We still talk on the phone.
Wow.
Because he cared, and he cared enough that I wanted to keep that friendship alive. You know, after I left junior high and things, he had gone on to a different school, and but we still have stayed in touch all these years because of the caring that he showed to me back then.
That's wonderful because, I mean, I had a lot of mentors when I was younger, for example, and I've kept in touch with a lot of them, but I've moved so much around the country that I lost track of some of them. But I was in touch with them for a good 30 years of my life, or 25 years. We stayed in touch nonstop. So I think that's really important when you do have teachers and you do have mentors that are helping you. Yeah. Thank you guys. And
absolutely.
And I know both of you are mentors, and I know both of you are coaching people, not only through what you're doing with your podcast. And Russ, if you want to talk about what you're doing with your podcast and your Pirate Nation and everything, and Pirate Broadcast, and how you're helping people, that would be great. And also, Randy, if you want to talk about the nonprofit that you're helping, the association, that'd be wonderful too. That's a lot of questions.
Do you want to share your nonprofit, Randy? Do you want to go ahead?
Oh, sure. Well, I
want to support your nonprofit, so
I'm honored to have the opportunity to work with a great organization called the National Civility Association, and it's an amazing organization run by a great man named Dr. Mike Thompson. Believe it or not, Mike and I we only met like 8 weeks ago, but we hit it off. And what the National Civility Association does is they're find the kind specialists. They go into a community and they build a coalition of leaders, the community leadership, the Chamber of Commerce, business leaders, ministerial leaders, you name it. They get a coalition of these leaders together and they come and bring them in to a summit, to a Find the Kind summit with high school student leaders. They lock arms with them and work with them to create what they call a Find the Kind plan. And that Find the Kind plan is taken back by those high school student leaders, and they work in their communities to reintroduce, not only at the school, but also into the communities, kindness, civility, respect, character, all those good things that this world this country especially, but the whole world so desperately needs right now. Because we seem, as a country, we seem to have lost the ability to be civil to each other. We seem to have lost the ability to have a simple conversation and the ability to agree to disagree without being disagreeable. And we're all about reintroducing those abilities. That's what the National Civility Association does. And it's a great opportunity for, we're right now, we're looking for donors and for sponsors, for anybody that resonates with that really wants to have a positive impact on young people, and that has, that is all about being able to impact communities in a way that's going to lift them, that's going to create better workers for later on, because these kids are learning. It's not just, here's the other thing I need to emphasize. The Find the Kind Summits, what we do, they're not one and done type things. They're a kickoff summit, because we have a great partner called Robin that follows up with the school and then comes in and coaches the students and has Find the Kind challenges and other things like that they run. And so it's really a great opportunity for anyone who wants to have a positive, strong impact, not only on these students' lives, but on their entire community.
Right. I think what's really interesting is that you don't really hear about that a lot anymore. Like, you used to hear about it through Rotary, because Rotary would bring kids in and mentor them, but I don't even hear about that much anymore. And I don't know if it's just because of what's going on right now, or if it's just kind of the state of the world. And I just bring up Rotary because I just know of that because of when I was growing up, my parents were very involved. But I don't hear about a lot of nonprofits that are doing that anymore. So this nonprofit, are they in all states?
That's the goal. It's not yet, but we're going to. We're working. We've got some great people we're working with that are going to help us put an organization in place that we can take nationally, and then eventually we're going to take it globally. Because it's not just the United States that needs this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's needed all over the world.
I 100% agree with you.
Absolutely.
don't you remember? You guys might remember because you have children, but I just remember when kids would go on, they'd be on those trips where they would go away for an entire semester, like in junior high or not junior high,
study abroad type things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Exchange students.
Exchange students. That was right. Yeah. I mean, I was always like, I want to be an exchange student. My parents were like, you're going to boarding school for the arts. You're like in a boarding school, like you're fine. like, okay. But that was always exciting because I'd come back from boarding school and my friends were like, I just went to England or I just went to India. And I'm like, well, I want to do that, So I don't know how that's working right now because of what's going on in the world, but I do hope that will come back. So kids will go through that also. So Randy, would you like to tell us about your book?
How about we let Russ, what did you want Russ to talk about first? Where's he?
How he trains people.
It's really interesting because the pirate broadcast actually interviews a lot of people, and I like to highlight other people. Yeah. And the benefit of that is that I get to have interesting conversations, and all of these conversations have led to some amazing opportunities to work and connect and actually do business with a lot of individuals. And like right now, I have a mastermind going on, and you've seen my videos. If anybody that's connected with me has probably seen some of the videos I've created and some of the introductions or some of the messages that I've left in your inbox in LinkedIn and just inviting you to the show or whatever it happens to be. And it's developed by a company called Dub, and I'm friends with the owner and founder is Ruben Dow. And it's an amazing opportunity to make these personalized connections and actually build relationships and provide value in introductions to people. So I'm actually starting a mastermind, 5 weeks of fun, 10 people, and we're going to actually produce and promote and help everybody in the group provide and develop their ability to reach out, make connections, and grow their business. And it's lead generation, it's relationships, and it's opportunities. It's just building a community around what you're doing.
Exactly. Those kinds of type of masterminds are great because the people in the masterminds usually become friends or business associates, things like that. You can bounce ideas off of each other, like going to the class, outside of the class. And I've met a lot of people that way too. But also, Russ, what's very interesting about what you're doing is that you're teaching them live streaming, right? Mm-hmm. But also content creation, digital strategy, media training, all the things that you need to have, even just a marketing company, just anything, to learn more about marketing. And a lot of people, they don't even know email strategies.
Well, it's really about, I've been in the industry for a long time, radio, television, broadcasting, advertising. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of things that I take for granted that I would love to share and give back to the community. And this is one way that I can do that and provide a lot of value and a lot of information for anybody that wants to be seen, be heard, and be talked about. And I really believe that video is going to continue to grow. Shows like this, Jenny, things that you're doing are examples of this continuing to expand. And Randy has a show, I have a show, you have a show, and we all have an opportunity right now to share our gifts, share our message, and actually make an impact on the world. Where, when we were growing up as kids, I mean, we started out with 3 channels, and you had to go turn the channel manually. And we've come a long way.
You had rabbit ears and the big monster antenna up on the
maybe some tinfoil on occasion. The reality is we've traveled so far in technology, and it's accelerating. And some of the conversations I've had with individuals, it's just so exciting to be able to build relationships and make real connections just like this. And so I'm passionate about helping others learn how to manage their video, how to manage their connections, how to build relationships, how to build communities. And I think it's important. And it's one of the things that I'm passionate about and will continue to share.
Right. So for both of you, Mark just wrote and said, many aren't used to kindness, and people
that is so true.
Right now they're not. And I read what both of you had sent to me, and I'm like, that's true. I mean, you said something very compelling, Randy, that people just aren't used to kindness anymore. I can't remember exactly how you worded this.
We've gotten to a point where, you know, we seem to have lost the ability to be civil with each other and to have the ability to have a discussion and agree to disagree without being disagreeable.
Right, because you had said that. You said, and the world's deeply troubled, which is true. And how do we come out of that? And how can we teach a younger generation who's kind of just give me more video games and give me more iPads? And I want the best, not iPads, because those are not even around anymore, but iPads. Like, I want the newest and greatest iPad, but I don't want to have to pay for it. My parents are going to pay for it. Well, when are you going to start learning how to make money, right? Or how are you going to start? Who's going to train them if the parents aren't training them? So do we take that responsibility and teach them kindness also?
Well, I absolutely think we take that responsibility. If parents don't take the responsibility, who's going to?
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
I'm all about, you know, I have a new term that I'm going to be throwing around a lot, and it's called an abundance bomb. I'm all about igniting abundance bombs in people's lives. Well, how on earth do you do that? What does that mean? You know, you hear the term bomb, of course, everybody thinks, oh, run away because, you know, bad things are happening. But this is the kind of bomb. An abundance bomb is a bomb that people want to run toward. Because when you ignite it, what happens is you explode your personal prosperity, happiness, and well-being. Well, how do you do that? You embrace kindness wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
All in, full feet, diving in, embracing kindness in everything that you do, personally and professionally. You look through the lens of kindness. It's okay, how can I create win-win situations? How can I create relationships, opportunities that are going to be beneficial to not only to me, but to everybody that I'm working with?
And I think, Randy, I think to amplify that, I think it's about adding value through kindness.
Exactly.
You can't help feel there's something that's going to be important in somebody's life. If you're sharing value out there and people are receiving that and they understand and appreciate what you're doing, you're gonna stand out. And when you stand out and you can be approachable and you help people, things in your life just show up. And it's like you said, Randy, abundance takes place and it just explodes. So
and it does, you know. I have to say, in the last year and a half, I have made some of the most amazing connections through LinkedIn. People that have been a blessing to my life and got some great opportunities that are coming up because of the people that I've been able to connect with through LinkedIn. And if I was a jerk, I never would have made those connections.
Exactly. So look who's here. Tim's here.
Tim's here. Hey, Tim.
And
Hey,
Tim,
what's happening?
Isn't it awesome? So he is a great example. He's a great example of what's going on right now because, you know, he's not well right now and he's not feeling well. He had an MRI today. So I'm like, are you going to get on the podcast or not? Yeah, I'm like, I see on the brat right here. I'm like, can you please get on the podcast? Even though you just had your head in an MRI machine, whatever. No, just kidding. But when people start
We're glad you're here, Tim.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
I know, right? So, oh, that's very nice, Tim. That's for you, Russ. So you guys, my question is, when people are getting better and there's not so many people passing away right now from this awful illness, like whatever it is that's going on. So the question is, are we still going to be as kind to people when this is quote unquote over? I don't know if it'll ever be over.
More so.
But, yeah. So will people still be so giving to other people? And will they be there for them?
Absolutely.
That's a question.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to jump in here, Randy, because I'm
Go for it.
So passionate about this. And here's the thing is when somebody says, somebody should do something about that.
Well, what are you doing?
Go look in the mirror, because
Exactly.
everybody is a somebody.
Exactly.
And just like Tim here, thank you. Love you, brother. And be well, be in touch, and, be safe. The reality is we have to take advantage of the things we have control over. When you become a victim, you become helpless, and we don't need anybody to be helpless. We need to promote this idea that you have the opportunity to change the way you feel, and that change can be in a kind way and a supportive way, and add value to the world. You don't need to necessarily, and that doesn't mean that you don't have boundaries and you don't have convictions in your beliefs. It means that you can actually promote the idea of helping others, being kind and supportive in a constructive and positive way. And I think the more we amplify that, and less we listen to the news and the media, I think the reality is that people in the world today are starving for the connection, the conversation, and the compassion that we can all share.
Russ is spot on. And he said something that's interesting. Okay, I'm the kindness giver. I have the moniker of the kindness giver. I try to do I try to give kindness as much as I can to everybody around me. At the same time, I'm a businessman, and I have a family to provide for.
Right.
And so, being kind doesn't mean you allow yourself to get run over, that you don't have, like Russ said, that you don't have boundaries and things like that. Right. I am doing everything I can to figure out as many revenue streams as I can get that will enable me to take care of my family, but doing it by when I spread kindness. And there's ways to do it. Right now, next week, I'm going to be launching, just for my website, a thing called Stories for Charity. I'm going to give people the opportunity. I love to write, and I can write. I'm confident that I can write impactful and life-inspiring stories.
Write mine.
And I'm going to I'm going to give people the opportunity. I'm going to share a story a week, a short story. It's going to be 2,000 words or less, but a short story that is inspiring and uplifting. But or at least it's what I believe is inspiring and uplifting. I'm going to ask my audience to vote, but to vote with your dollars. How much does this story lift you? Is it a $1 lift? Is it a $5 lift? Is it a $10 lift? Is it more? And with everybody that pays, if you pay $1, you get a PDF copy. At $5, if it was a $5 lift, you pay $5. You get the same PDF copy, but you get it. This lift was worth $5 to me. For every dollar that people pay, as they vote, then I'll be donating 20% of that or a percentage. I don't know. I haven't decided on the total percentage, but I'll be donating a generous percentage to the Home of Dream Orphanage with Wanumi Lasule, who I've raised money for before. He's a guy in Africa, an amazing young man. He's 20-something years old, and he's taking care of like 20-something kids.
Wow.
And so it's Stories for Charity. And if it goes well with me, people respond well to me doing it. I'm going to build it into a platform where any young writer, any new writer, there's somebody that can write, good, clean, uplifting, wholesome stories, and no profanity, no sex, none of that stuff in them, but good, clean, wholesome, uplifting stories. If they want to do the same thing, raise money for charity, they'll have a platform to do it on.
Yeah. We need to connect you with Ken Rashawn. He created the Smile Project, and I just got off the phone with him earlier today, and looking forward to creating something.
Let's talk about that later, Russ. Yeah. And by the way, I just realized, man, I'm walking the walk of shame right now.
Why?
Because I've never had you on my podcast, Russ.
You never had me on your podcast, but you just met me.
No, Jenny, we just met, but I've known Russ for a year and a half. And like, how can I not have the Kindness is Cool King on my podcast? So we're going to remedy that.
We'll fix it anytime.
Yes. So
I am not worried one bit, Randy, about
I know
what is. I wake up with gratitude, and I have the attitude that everything has a time and a place, and everything works out exactly as it needs to work out.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if we may not always enjoy the outcome. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and Jenny, somebody else you need to have on here is Michael Ray.
Yes.
Do you know?
Yes. I know
Russ,
him.
you know
I don't
Michael.
know
Right?
him.
Oh
but I
yeah,
know
I've
him.
had Michael's.
Yeah.
Michael's been on the show. So,
Yeah, he's a pirate.
he's a pirate.
Right.
Michael, and he is a king of happiness.
Yes.
So
Ken Rashawn, the Smile Project. Yeah.
Oh, and Michael
true,
Ray,
Nancy.
Smile Project Louisville. So you should get those both of them on the same time.
Well, that's what I'm saying and that's the essence of what I'm talking about is the conversation that we can actually have and the people that we meet along our journeys.
right.
Wouldn't you rather hang out with somebody that's positive and uplifting and motivational, and inspirational, and rather than being somebody that actually, is a downer? I know what my choice is. We are the product. We are the accumulation of the people we hang out with. And if we're hanging out with positive people in a positive light and can produce results, and it's just like here. I was on this show, and guess who called in? Guess who tried to call me? Howard Kaufman. So
Did he really? I actually asked him to log in, like I sent a little Canva thing to him. I'm like, don't forget.
Another positive person. So
very positive. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
And I actually met you, Russ, because of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
it's a small world.
Yeah, that's exactly.
We're all connected. There's a thread of connection between all of us. That happen in real time. Just like Tim says.
Another lady you should have on is Renee Johnson. Renee's the one that introduced me to Russ in the first place. She was doing a random acts of kindness thing back in October of 2019.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I made a post, and she's like, "Do you know Russ Johns? You need to get to know Russ Johns." Like, no, I don't know Russ, but I should, and I will.
Yeah. So Tim just said, "It's a great circle of life." Yeah.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah. It is. And that's why I said we don't need Kevin Bacon. Just get to know each other, right? To have the connections. But I think this is wonderful. The one thing I forgot I was going to mention is that something that's coming up in LinkedIn, especially with the podcasters, is that some have said when we go back to work to our, 40-hour a week jobs, are we going to lose contact with each other? There's been a little bit of concern about that. And I think people are getting a little bit of, is that going to happen? Is that not going to happen? So, I
look at it as the glass is half full.
Yeah.
Because people, and you were talking earlier about, Randy's connected with somebody, a teacher that he was, in school. There's always a season, people come and go in our lives, and they typically come in and go in our lives. Some people are constant. Some people are chapters in the book of life. And they all bring something to the table. So, yes, Nancy says, no bacon.
Well, they were asking Tim said I missed the bacon appearance, but bacon only comes out if I'm about ready to cry. Or if one of you are about ready to cry, I go, would you like some bacon? Like, I've stopped crying from that. Like, I'd stop people from crying. They're like, I love bacon. Like, I don't know where they're like, I used to be vegan, but I love bacon. I'm like, okay.
I love bacon too.
I know if that makes people laugh and kind of switch their whatever's going on, then
switch it up.
Yeah, it just switches it up. Not that it needs to. But yeah, no Kevin Bacon here.
Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Hilarious. Yeah. But Tim's dying over here. I guess it's because he's crying.
We hope that's not literal, Tim.
It's because he needed the bacon. Maybe he needed the bacon. I don't know. I don't think we're making him cry though today, right?
Don't hate on bacon. It's Friday.
I can make you guys cry. You want me to make you cry? No.
Okay. I have my Mickey Mouse ears over here, so you can try, but
nah. We're good. We're good.
It's something that's interesting, and I'm going to throw this out there, is Russ was talking about his mastermind, and those masterminds are all about making what I call strategic alliances, or
Right,
because
exactly.
they're people that you can connect with and help to build your business, help to build, various things. And I was just part of a conference called Strategic Alliance Live about two weeks ago, and on the Saturday they had a competition as part of this conference, and three groups split up, and they had to create $100 million idea as part of this competition, something that could be executed within a year. Well, in the group I was in, started talking about doing a business network, and there's a bunch of stuff I can't talk about. But the thing is, I ended up bringing up a story about kindness, and then somebody else shared a story about kindness, and somebody else shared a story about kindness, and all of a sudden, everybody was talking. I mean, it was like I set off an abundance bomb. But I mean, it's like everybody, and the guy who was leading the project all of a sudden breaks down and tells a story that he says, I've never shared this with anybody ever. And he talked about how someone had talked him out of a situation where he was about to jump off a bridge.
Wow.
He was about to jump off a bridge, and a guy talked him off the ledge, talked him into coming. And he says, I can't tell you. I thank God every day for that guy. He says, I don't remember his name. He never told me his name. But every time I went to the park after that, he would be there, and he would see me and say hi and ask how I was doing. And that went on. And it was a chapter in his life. He it only for as long as he was living in that area. Whenever he went to that park, that guy was there, and then he wasn't there, and he never saw him again. But people caring, people being willing to show kindness. We have no idea what we do or say today might impact somebody and save a life.
And it's just like Nancy says, seriously, deep down, everybody wants to be surrounded by kindness.
Exactly.
We all need to be needed in some way, shape, or form. It's the human condition. And when you put it out there in the universe, it always seems to be amplified, because it's just like smiling at someone. I say smiles are free all the time, and there's a reaction and a response to that 9 times out of 10. So give it away and it amplifies
it. Yeah, exactly. We all love to have. Tim talked about earlier. He made a comment about paying it forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we give kindness, we get that pay it forward feeling, and we get it and we give it, and everybody likes to have that. Nancy is spot on in saying deep down, everyone wants to have kindness around them, because what is kindness is the delivery method for happiness. Every time we give kindness away, it releases the dose. I don't know if here's another lady to have on is Jacqueline Way. Jacqueline Way is the queen of talking about the dose of happiness: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphin.
Yeah.
We give ourselves a dose, and we give other people a dose every time we give kindness away.
There's a physical response to smiling.
Yeah. There is.
And
Russ, I think that Nancy just took your.
Yeah, smiles are free, literally and spiritually.
But I think she just extended your little
freeing
hashtag. Yeah. Exactly right. I know, it's cute.
Thank you, Nancy.
I think we all need to give her a big bomb.
Yeah.
Your bomb.
Yeah.
Kindness bomb, because she's moving to Florida, on Monday or Tuesday with her husband.
Oh my goodness!
It's 1,400 miles away from where she's living now, and she's like, "Wow, we're just going to do this." So,
Been there, done that.
So, I've done that too quite a few times. So,
Nancy just said great name drop. Hey, can I drop one more name for you, Jenny? Another great name.
Yes.
Two. I just thought of 2 more people. Nicole Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Russ, are you connected to Nicole?
I don't know if I am.
Yeah. Oh, if you're not, you should.
I mean, we'll have to compare lists here. So.
Yeah, Nicole P. Jones. She's just a sweetheart, love her to death. And another lady that we just interviewed not too long ago on the Kindness and Happiness Connection is Cole Baker Bagwell. Oh, my goodness, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention the amazing Rachel Beck.
Yeah, Rachel, she's a rock star.
Connect with Rachel and connect with another great guy, Rob House. I can give you a whole name.
You don't have to go back through and write them down.
Joseph Skepke. I'll send you a list.
Yeah, Joseph.
Tim knows Joseph Skepke. They get on they podcast together sometimes.
Yeah, they're doing it tonight with Ira. Yeah, they have a podcast.
And Ira Bowman.
Yeah.
Ira's another one.
Yeah.
See, the whole community.
Elaine Jacks.
Yeah.
Elaine Jacks, another queen of kindness. She's an amazing lady, and Elaine lights up the room, man. I mean, she has a smile that is.
See, there's people that I haven't met yet, Randy. There's.
Oh yeah,
and I'm probably like Vernon Brown was on the show this morning, and he's the Happy Project, HAPPI,
and see, I don't know Vernon Brown. Now you dropped the name.
It's a great show, by the way, Russ. That was a great show. I'm like, wait, I can't keep watching this. I have to go get in the shower. But it was wonderful. That was a great show. So thank you for having me on.
Well, and thank you so much, Jenny, for having us on the show and sharing a little bit about kindness. And
absolutely.
What a wonderful way to wrap a week up and get ready for the weekend for those that have weekends and practice weekends.
I don't feel like I do, and I should. I mean, my full-time job is this. Right.
I love what I do, so I have a tendency to be flexible, and there's times where I need to take off in the week, so I do.
I've got a lot of work to do to finalize my story and get stories for charity out there, so I won't be resting much this weekend except for on Sunday. Sunday's my day of rest. So
yeah,
that's good.
A happiness party. Send it along. Absolutely, Nancy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I don't have? I don't have what Russ has, little wheelie thing. If you still want to give away one of your books. I don't have a wheelie thing. So Randy, you're going to just be like, just put his name out there and be like, okay, you won.
To get a book.
I know. So Russ, you can put all these names in your wheelie. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Pick a number between, have the audience pick a number between 1 and 30. Put it out here, and who's ever closest gets the book. I've got a number in my head.
Right. Pick a number between 1 and 30.
If is Tim still there?
I don't have a beard either, Jenny. Nancy USL does not have a beard. And Ross, how are you doing on your beard oil?
I'm doing good. I should have it's right over. I'm good right now. I don't use it too much.
Nancy said 12. Is Tim still here?
I don't.
I think he might have dropped off.
He might have. Because remember, his head was in a bell.
Yeah. Well, Nancy, is anybody? We got 30 seconds.
Mark should be in there.
Mark might have left.
Let's see. He's probably like.
Hey, Nancy, send me an email to Randy at Randy.
I asked him to leave. She asked him to leave. Oh, Mark just said 12. Wait, Mark just said 12. He can't say 12. All right, Mark just said 12. So.
Oh, Mark just said 12, and so did Nancy.
I know, right?
Send them both the book.
I'll send both of you. I'll send both of you a free PDF copy of the book.
Very kind of you. Thank you.
Just send me an email.
He said he meant to say 17.
Send to Jenny. Send an email to Jenny, and she can get the information to me.
Well, Mark is my caregiver, not caregiver.
And I'll be more than happy to spend a 30-minute session with anyone that's interested in having a conversation or has questions about.
So Nancy just said thank you kindly for the book. And Mark did too. Yes. So
perfect.
That's very nice of you. You know what, you guys, it's been 45 minutes. And I didn't cut you off. See, Russ is really good at that. He'd be like, okay, give him your information, stop. And he's like, ching, he stops it. But I didn't do that because I really liked the conversation that was happening because I think it's very important right now. What we were talking about, this whole kindness thing is really, it's really important because I have friends that are like, I just went to the grocery store and people were like throwing things at each other. Like, why would they do that? So I think these kinds of conversations are important right now.
Randy and I could talk about kindness probably all day long. So
I could just tell you stories about what I'm hearing. It's not very kind.
I've got a ton of stories. I could tell you a lot more.
Yeah.
Are you guys all right? This is a dueling of the kindness people. I have more than you have. I have more than you have. Dueling that I did not want to have on the show.
Oh, wait a minute. No, we're not into that kind of competition.
I know, I'm just kidding.
I shared all my stories. I don't have any more stories.
Russ has got a ton of stories. So.
I have a lot of stories too, but not talking about kindness. So, hey, can you go both really quickly? Tell people how they can get in touch with you, and also will you tell them really quickly, Randy, about that nonprofit organization, their website, or their website.
The website for the National Civility Association is nationalcivilityAssociation.org.
I won't spell that
correctly. All together, no hyphens, all together. nationalcivilityAssociation.org. And the best way for people to get a hold of me is to go to. That sounds great. Hey, I'll take that.
She's probably having a couple cocktails while she's packing to get to Florida. See, she's very happy right now.
Best way for people to get a hold of me is randy@randymcneely.com. They can go to my website, randymcneely.com.
And down there. It'll be below this. When it goes live, and I will actually add everything else you want me to add to this also.
Okay. Where do you need me? I don't have anywhere to enter that. Did you need me to?
You can just send an email to me and I'll put it underneath this because it's already preloaded, but I will add it to there.
And then Russ will let you know where people can connect to him.
Yep. Russ at russjohns.com.
That's it?
That's it. Simple.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Nancy says it was a great show.
And if you want to book some time, you can always go to bookruss.com. So
there you go.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Super simple.
Wait, Russ, were you going to choose a number too? Also, let somebody talk
12.
to you. 12. That'll go to Nancy.
I'll just give it to anyone that's on the show. It says it's like, hey, anybody that wants to connect, I'm happy to connect with.
Wow. Okay, that's very kind of you. Thank you.
Just send me an email, and we'll find a spot. We'll find a spot that works.
To Russ Johns
Russ at russjohns.com.
Russ at russjohns.com.
I put it in the here. Let me send it in the. I'll send it in the comments here.
Thank you. Randy says Randy's like this. I'm so happy right now. You have a great
life is good. I get to see both of my all my kids are going to be home this weekend, so and a grandbaby to boot. So.
I was going to say, do you want to share your latest? By the way, your grandbaby was born the day before my sister's birthday.
Oh well, she came into the world just the right time.
It looks like your grandbaby's a Gemini. Watch out! I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Watch out for that. Wow. Thank you, Nancy. So Nancy said replay folks missed out. They missed out on your book, and they missed out. Well, Russ is like, hey, just email me.
They'll get a chance.
Whatever. Everybody on the podcast world is going to be like, hey, Russ. It's all those in the replay. But anyway, thank you, everyone, for coming today. I really appreciate the two of you, Randy and Russ. This really means a lot to me. And I never thought I'd have a live podcast for you to be on, Russ. There you go.
There you go.
Thank you for the invitation. It was a great opportunity. Love being on with you.
Thank you. You guys have a great weekend, okay?
Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.